Charles, you had asked me today about talking about how you might document a hammer toe surgery in the office.
It was really multiple procedures of the same, and I was doing tenotomies on toes 1 through 5 on a foot, and I got the coding in there, but it just didn't present well in the note
Yeah,
as easily readable.
I guess I can think. It's a couple of things. There is a way to change the visit. We had this at one point. We had a in-office surgery, and it was a nail, right? But the encounter note screen was totally different than anything we saw. It was more of a procedure like op note template, surgeon, procedure, pre-op diagnosis, that kind of
Right.
stuff. So you might be able to change the default screen, like bigger than a template, think, right? To something like that. And I'll ask Lisa, if I don't know if you ever saw that, remember it, or were involved, but maybe we could talk about that. I'm not sure that's exactly what you want, but I was just thinking of all the ways we could accomplish that, and certainly you could do that, and then you would have a big blank where you would write your op report just like you might dictate it or whatever you do at the hospital. But and I haven't not used that. I saw it once, and Jim and I said, what's this? I got a nail surgery to do. I can't have this. So they turned it back into what you see now. So I did not spend any time with it. So if given some time now, I could look at it, and maybe that would be a great thing to do for certain things. But what I imagine you want is a procedure section to document your op report.
Right, and just how when you go under procedures and you type in if you do it, what it doesn't matter what code I gave you if you're doing
Correct.
like it could be tenotomies or it was actually IPJ release of 1 through 5.
Yeah, like a
You know, when you
28010.
start to when I got into the procedure and I could put one in there and then I was trying to put the second one in there with the code right beside it in the third and the fourth, I just kind of modified it and just said for the purposes of this part of the note, this same procedure was done same and similar for toes 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I do that in the hospital. When I dictate my op
Right.
reports in the hospital, if I do two hammer toes, I'll say procedure number two, complex hammer toe repair, third digit. The identical procedure as performed on the second toe is performed on the third toe without omission, deletion, or change. It is what I say and I do. I have not been yelled at. I know that there have been places in the past where they say, don't do that and dictate it all out, even if it's word for word the same. But that's what I've been doing, and I don't have a fault with that as long as you say, it was exactly the same except third toe as the second toe, right? But I understand the problem. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So, like, if you had over here something that said hammer toe 28285 or flexor tenotomy 28010, whatever, then over here you could put surgeon, preoperative diagnosis, anesthesia, blood loss, that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And you can only do one,
Correct.
right? So,
Right.
you have,
That's exactly where
yes.
I'm running into.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, I get you, and it is disappointing. I talked with support for a long time because they have a way to do exactly that, but not in the procedures. They have in the examination a way to document lacerations exactly like you would want and I would want to do for our procedures. Listen, I have this whole procedure category, and I've got all my things and all my defaults and everything else in there, and I just want to have that multiple times. Just like you do with lacerations. They have a laceration one where you put where it is and how big it is and blah, blah, blah. And you click a button, and underneath it, it says laceration two, and you get to go through the whole thing again. And I begged them, can't you make this work for procedures? And they said no. The only way I can see of doing what you want to do is having three, four, seven of those hammer toes, and and I would probably label them hammer toe repair, third digit right, because you'll need 8 of them or 9 of them or 10 of them or whatever you want, because that way you can do what you want. Hammer toe repair number 3 over here, surgeon, pre-op, stop, anesthesia procedure, blah, blah, over here. So just like they have multiple x-rays over here, you have x-ray report 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
That's why, because you can't have multiples of the same. So you could make multiple categories, hammer toe, second toe, and I would label it by toe. And then whenever you do one, I'm only doing second toe right and third toe left. And then you just pick those 2 procedures, and it automatically, does a good job of telling you which ones. You make a template that loads that, puts the T code in the modifier, blah, blah, all that. Or what you do is you make a procedure, right? So maybe you'll have in-office major surgeries where you'll do hammer toe repairs, or if you do neuromas or bunions in your office or whatever, right? Maybe you have a major procedure category, and over here you have one that says hammer toe 28285, flexor sternotomy 28080, whatever, right?
Right.
Then I think what I would do, and I see, I don't know where this came from.
Those
Maybe
are mine. I
okay,
added those.
okay.
This
So
is me struggling to do this. Yes.
I got you. Okay, so what I would do here is, all right, so you put in, just the toe you want, right? And you said this is not going to
Right.
work. So what I would do is I would use my hammer toe op report, right? And I would put my hammer toe op report in here. Yeah, I'd go in here. I don't know of any limit of the amount of text you can put in that box. So maybe you could
Okay.
put your whole hammer toe repair. Maybe you can't. Maybe you have to break it up into, 3 or 4 sections on this right-hand side, right? But let's assume you could put your whole hammer toe repair in this one. So I would click that, and within that whole hammer toe repair, I would find the spots where I need to enter 5th digit right foot. And then I would return, and I would do it again. And I would look and put in where to put 2nd digit right foot.
Now, is that going to, I understand what you're saying, but is that going to list the code under the procedures
You
also with each toe?
So what I would do is I would have it here, right?
Right.
Or in your procedure, make your procedure, title, right? So let's say you make one and it says hammer toe or complex hammer toe repair 28285 in bold,
Okay. I see what you're saying now.
right? And then, okay,
Right.
so I'm going to do that.
That way it'll drag in there automatically.
Yeah. And then you could even put here, third toe left. And then boom, I click my procedure. I put in third toe left where I've left asterisks or whatever, so I know what to do. And then I would come and do it again. Second toe right. And there's my op report. And I would go in and add third toe left or, whatever. So those are the 2
Okay.
ways I think you could do it. You either got to put your entire op report or sections
And
help you.
part of this question was just making sure I wasn't missing something too.
You
And
are not. No, you're
yeah,
right.
I just want to make sure. That's why I want to make sure I wasn't missing how to put that in there, and it looks like I'm not. So,
You are
or I'm on to
absolutely right.
something.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. And the way I would do this one, really, is I would have my title, and then I would have, something that I called, maybe it was pre-op, right? And in there you have another section below, and it's all that kind of pre-op stuff, surgeon and assistant, and pre-op doctor, and then you might have pre-op stuff in here, and then maybe you have another one that says procedure report, and then below that you can have procedure stuff, for your hammer toe, and then below that you can have post-op, and you can say, put in there, post-op instructions, blah, 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 right? Because then what you can do is you can say, okay, I'm going to do this hammer toe repair, and then here is my pre-op and all the pre-op stuff we talked about, and then return, and here's my procedure report, and then I type in my procedure report and I fix second toe left, and then I do my procedure report again, and I do oops, and then I do my third toe right, and then I only have one post-op and post-op instruction, right?
Right.
Because you only need the pre-op and the post-op once. Because I think it smacks of I just clicked a button when each one is this patient was identified, second time report repair, dressing applied. This patient was identified, third time report repair, which is not how you do anything. And you could put the procedures in the middle and just click the pre-op and post-op once. And that also splits this up into multiple categories, right? And then up here you could put just, third toe left, second toe right, like that.
Okay.
Like that. So you're right. The way that I would love to do it, we cannot. So this is the only way I've found to what I have been working on is DME. We are in the middle of a big DME project where we're trying to provide templates for certain DME items, and I've made a few. These ones here started with L4361 pneumatic cam walker and templates for these pathologies. These are, I have two more to go for 4361, sprain and plantar fasciitis.
Okay.
And then we'll send out, but this will be able to be used. So if you have a patient with Achilles tendonitis on the right side, if you, the template has Achilles tendonitis, difficulty in walking, which was Dr. Lehrman's recommendation for an additional secondary diagnosis code, and then the procedure for the tendonitis, which this whole page of text is what he states we should use for audit success in dispensing a cam walker for Achilles tendonitis.
Okay. Yeah, that's more than I use currently. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
you and me both. And
That's under the IS. That's under the InStride favorites
yes,
template.
I used star IS underline DME for these. So
Okay.
that's the way I started doing these. So we got a list of other codes that we will start to get from him and add to this list, and periodically send out updates of what's been added.
Hey, is there any way when we do out of office visits, it doesn't have to come up with everybody's hospital and all that, or is that impossible to do that?
No, I believe that's impossible because we are all one group.
I just was hoping it would be a way you could favorite since I don't go to Raleigh and Brunswick and all that. There's no way I can do a procedure there.
Yes, I don't
Yeah.
know. How about you, Lisa, or Jen's here? Do you guys know?
I don't. I know you can put your you can keep. There's options on the right hand side to where you can make sure your provider and resource is saved, but you will still have to select the place of service for each one.
And there's no shortening it by using a favorite list of any kind.
I don't think there's a favorite in that area.
Can you type the first couple characters and kind of search that
Yes, it
way?
does do that. You can
Yeah,
you can
Yeah.
type the first couple. It just is
yeah, yeah. Less than ideal.